them kill you? Oh boy, you're never gonna get out of here.
Stick and move, dash move, stick and move. It's like I built enough or got enough to make like little shit shacks essentially. Oh yeah, that was great. 12 minutes where William Dafoe beats you up for 4 hours.
Okay, what's up, everybody? I'm sorry I'm not my usual energetic self, but this is now the third time I've done this fucking ramble. Hi, Nick.
Hi, Al.
Jesus Christ. That's like the one time we're finally back on track time-wise, and something's like, nope,
not can't do
Gotta
that.
wait a month.
Step back.
Oh, God. It's just my luck. What's going on, man?
I feel like I've been doing a lot of various games lately.
Me too.
I finally got around to playing Hades.
Oh, please! I can't wait to hear what you think of this.
Yeah,
It's so great.
It is. Like I'm having a blast. Like it's that roguelite, and I know you've been raving about it. And I finally, it's been on Game Pass forever. Like you know what? I need
No. It just got to Xbox Game Pass.
Okay, it was just on Game Pass. Okay,
it got there this past week.
Oh, okay. So it was okay. So it wasn't a case of me missing it, rather on Game Pass, but
it might have been on PC. It might have been on PC Game Pass for a long time, but it just got to Xbox last week, I think.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, either it was advertised and it came to my attention. It's like, oh, you know what? They're talking about this. Let me sit down and play it. Oh man, is it so good? I think it's one of the first roguelites where I keep playing through it, and I still have yet to get like a repeated line or
same dungeon. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, like mechanically, like there's similar things, but it keeps throwing like every round something new. And it hasn't stopped. And I'm like waiting for it to happen, but it doesn't. So it's like I gotta keep going.
I've been playing this game for a year.
Wow.
Or so.
Yeah,
because I followed it in early access. It's why I've mentioned it on here before. Danny O'Dwyer at NoClip, his documentary called "Developing Hell" is it follows Hades from their early access release, which was a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years now.
Okay,
all the way up to releasing the game 1.0 post-COVID. It's 5 episodes. It's one of the best game documentaries, pieces of gaming history, especially if you enjoy Hades and you just want to chill out tonight and watch something great, watch that. Because they even talk about the next to last episode was about development during the pandemic and just how they handled it.
Right.
I'm telling you, like, this should be a part of gaming history. Like, I want to talk to Jason Scott and be like, yo, Archive God, get in touch with Danny, get that shit in the archive, make sure it never goes away.
Right.
But no, dude, it's what I've said about Hades from day one, especially by the time they released it. They really listened to the community and took the best criticisms and input, and in my opinion, have made gaming perfection. Like, it's a perfect game.
Yeah, absolutely, and it just like it hits like a perfect like narrative tone.
God, and the voice,
very quick turnaround.
Voice acting's great.
Oh yeah, it's like, and that's the kicker that I keep running into, because it's like, again, like I've yet to run into a repeated line. Now I'm sure like there's got to be a point eventually where it's like, okay, you hit the end, because there can only be so much, but it's like I haven't hit it yet, and I think part of it is the way it kind of feeds this overall narrative over your various repeat cycles. And there's a little RNG, because obviously you have to like I noticed like you'll talk through them, and eventually I don't want to ruin it for people who haven't checked it out yet, but there'll be kind of these I guess major story beats that will happen.
Oh yeah.
And then like everyone's dialogue again, there's no repeat, but like there's definitely like a best way to describe it is like a tonal shift in everyone's dialogue that, they recognize like, oh, this happened. And it's like, we see this happening to you. And it's like, and
I just love Hypnos fucking with you when when you get killed by a minor mob. You let one of them kill you? Oh boy, you're never going to get out of here.
like Rosary was like, oh man, you just let it roll over you, didn't it? He's like, yeah, I did.
Yeah, fuck you. And you know what? That gets to the heart, I think, of what makes Hades so special. Now, I know anyone that's listened knows how much I drone on about how much I hate Souls-like games. And I would say it's not that I don't like hard games, because I don't think there's anybody under the sun that's not going to say Hades is not a hard game. It's a fucking hard game, but it's fair. It is 100% fair. I have not, and I mean, there are people that are way more hardcore at this game that love it as much as I do, that have done like tons of runs. I maybe done 101 runs. I still haven't beat it. Like, I still have not beat the game. But every goddamn time I die, what's oddly rewarding and terribly frustrating about this game is you're like, that was my fucking fault. I should have fucking saw that.
I saw it coming.
I knew it was coming. I knew the fucking pattern. I got cocky again. God damn it.
I pieced it when I should have French fried.
Yes, like you totally get it. And it's what's so brilliant about this game is it like, and I know you can relate to this. When we were younger with a lot of these games, it was all pattern memorization.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of these enemies, like Meg is a great example, the Fury Meg.
Yeah.
She has a very specific pattern. And if you understand it and study it, you could kill her without ever getting hit.
Mm-hmm.
And like I've gotten to that point, so I'm proud of myself because I'm old, slow, and I suck. But if you watch the pattern, you're like, oh, she's gonna fucking jump up and spinny, and like you just know what to do. And that's what's so brilliant about the game. And then what I really adore about Hades is, with the black crystal system and the chthonic keys and all the currencies that you get, is no run is wasted. Unless you really suck.
Unless you die in like the first room, which is pretty hard to do.
Yeah, like no run is wasted. And you get these currencies where you can unlock things that will make the game a little bit easier. And that to me is so fucking brilliant. Now that's my platform on it. I'd love to hear what you think, based on your play so far.
No, absolutely. Like it's as with any roguelite, it's all about, kind of, you have to go through those initial progressions and, die several times to get those kind of like, set you up for power runs next time. But even that, again, like I haven't reached the end of that. Like, it first starts off with, you have a limited set of weapons and you kind of unlock them. And then you get a cabinet full of like extra trinkets that you can then equip, and then you can rank those up.
They can make huge differences too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And so now I've gotten to the point where I think I've gotten most of the ones. I think I'm down to like missing at least 2 of them.
Okay.
But I still got to level them all up. Like I've been like slowly collecting them because again, like part of these, various, there's, you get the drinks to give to everybody. And then, then they give you the item. And they have to come up and be the RNG. So it's like I'm almost to that point, but I'm sure that there's still like the things at the bottom. I have no idea what they do.
Don't tell me
what those are. Yeah. I'm sure it's just like there's probably gonna be like a whole new series of stuff to do. Like great, wonderful, great. But I love like there's a thing in there called the mirror that's in your room. Basically you're dumping these like darkness points into, and it'll give you more lives, it'll give you, more attack bonuses, and you unlock more tiers with keys. And I love that fact because it's like as I was initially playing, it's like I was getting used to just like the general mechanics, like I see this kind of leveling system is great, and then I realized like there's more levels here with the keys.
Oh yeah, it just unlocks it at a perfect pace too.
Yeah, and then there's like the alternate version of there's like the darkness, and then there's like the green version, which still takes darkness, but it's like the it's not necessarily opposite effect, but it's like an alternate
path kind of
alternate path. So like trying to remember one. There's one where if you power it up, it basically for every crystal you have on an enemy, you do more damage. But if you flip it around, I think it's like you you get one crystal, but it constantly charges over time, so you can speed that charge up to be like I guess you could rapid fire. I'm thinking about like unlocking that eventually and testing them out. But yeah, like all of them have like just like again another way to play, another alternate way to go about it. And again, things just keep on like the amazing part is like I'm now in for a penny, in for a pound, and like what's going to unlock next? What's going to be the next like, twist that not necessarily twist, but it's like the next little mechanic that they've hidden behind the curtain, and it's going to unlock next.
And they unleash it right at the time where you're good enough to use it. That's what I mean in perfection. Like games that do it wrong give you all that shit right away, and you're just like, I don't know.
It's like they unlock it, or like if you just power level, you'll have it right away.
Yeah.
But no, this is like it's just I say almost drip feed, but yeah, you're absolutely right. It's like right at the right moment, the new like a new story beat will happen and will unlock a whole new path. The new mechanic will unlock. It'll give you a whole new choices to how to play, and approach each level, and it's like, oh man.
So all right, so how far are you?
All right, so I've unlocked all the weapons.
Okay.
I've actually made it all the way past Elysium and made it to Hades at the very end. I'm assuming it's the very end. But he kicked my ass, so I haven't beat the game. What else have I think, like I said, I think I've given drinks to everyone. I think I'm missing one god that hasn't shown up yet.
You just gave one drink to everybody?
Just one drink. Yeah, just one drink.
Oh, okay. You got a while to go.
Yeah, I'm sure I do. Like I noticed, like I'm getting to the point where it's like I think I just had one where I think the last piece of dialogue with Nyx, and I looked at the codex entry, and it says like give her something additional to continue on. I'm like, oh, do I need to give her another
like there's I think four or five tiers of drinks for each person.
Gotcha. Okay.
So to give you again the idea of the layers, there is, well, I don't know if I want to say it because I don't want to spoil it for you.
No, don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. Yeah.
So I'll let you keep going. But,
it definitely looks like okay. There's more. Like it doesn't look like every character has the second layer more or less, but
correct.
But like key characters will it'll continue the storyline, so to speak. And if I give them either another bottle of ambrosia or the super ambrosia, the box or the square one.
So let's talk after you beat Hades.
Okay. I was feeling so good when the first time I got there because
he's fucking hard, dude.
Like, well, here's the kicker. I forget what I want to say. I had the shield. I think I like the shield the most.
Like, I suck with the shield.
Oh man, I love it because like basically the power tech forces you to put the shield up, so you're constantly blocking everything, and then you just like dash through things, and then you're it's like a defensive attack essentially.
I've never actually thought of trying that. I got to do that. My primary, believe it or not, is between the sword.
Okay.
That you get at the start. I fucking rock with the sword. Or the spear.
I do like the spear. The spear, I got a really good combo on that one at one point.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I tried playing the bow. Like my one coworker,
bow is so hard. Oh man,
I was gonna say I watched him play. He's like, bow's best weapon in the game. I'm like, no, fuck you. Go tie your shoes. That fucking bow sucks.
Then he's like, I do okay with it, but it's just like,
no, I fucking suck with it, dude.
I love moving around. Basically like everything but the bow and the was it not the hippogriff, but the gun essentially.
Basically the gun, yeah.
Because
I'd say the gun's better than the bow.
Yeah, I think it has a little bit more movement. Yeah, but my big thing is like with all the other weapons, you can do this move and attack. Even though I think you can do it with the bow, but it's not as versatile.
I'm dead without my dash. I'm dead without my dash.
I don't know, but yeah, like the other thing, it's like I can dash and stab, or just dash and get out of there.
I'm the fucking Tasmanian devil with my dash.
Yeah, that's my technique. It's like stick and move, dash, move, stick and move.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I've literally Paige just watched me play. And after the Hydra fight, I have to drop the controller and massage my hands because I'm just like, I'm like, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, my one coworker's like, no, dude, the bow is the way to go. I'm like, no, the bow sucks. And he's like, I'm streaming at 9:00 your time. He's like, hop on. All right. and I hopped on, I watched him, and I'm like, holy shit. Like, if you play it like he does, I just know he's way better at this than I'll ever be. Like, he was clearing shit like it was nothing. And I was just like, okay. Yeah, I would just say watch a Hades bow stream, and I want to get that good. I want to get that good.
I'll have to do it. Like at this point, I'm also been doing a lot of the. There's that list of minor prophecies that I'm, I'm trying to clock out.
Do those.
Because like at least like all these reward. Like I want to get the gems so I can get more of the house renovation
construction stuff. Yeah.
But yeah, so usually like every run it'll be like if none of them are on there, then I'll choose something that I feel fits the whatever weapon I'm running. And then, that's the other thing. Like whatever weapon I'm running, it's the darkness bonus is attached to it because it's like I want extra darkness.
Oh yeah, gotta get him. And for those who haven't played it, like what we're talking about is you get to choose once you unlock them between like 6 or 7 different weapons, and they completely change your play style.
Oh yeah.
Completely.
And each, God's boon is different depending on, what, there's basically like, was it 3 attacks, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And, usually when the boon comes, you can choose, like one of the 3 or it'd be like, your dash or, it'll do something, depending on what you choose. And so like, again, it kind of adds to that. Each run is so unique because, again, partially because I'm doing the list of prophecies, I'm not really getting a similar playthrough in terms of like what things I'm choosing.
No, that's fine. That's totally fine.
Which actually I think adds to a benefit because it's like allowing me to kind of like see the gambit, seeing which ones I really like. And so when I get when I come back into a playthrough and I get to a boon selection that's like, okay, I don't need a specific one to unlock a prophecy. I can choose what I want. It's like I'll choose ones that I gravitate towards and I know it's like, okay, I like this one. I'm going to use this again.
And that's the beauty of this game is that it caters to pretty much any play style.
Oh yeah.
Like you just have to find it. And then once you do, like you could totally roll with that. So now I got to ask, who's your favorite god?
Ooh, that's a good one.
I know who mine is. And it's not because I'm a walking drunk. I love those Dionysus boons.
You love the Dionysus ones? Yeah.
Fuck me. Those hangover boons are because I dash everywhere and I jack that fucking dash and hangover damage huge. And I'll combine it with Aphrodite.
Yeah, I was about to say it's like Aphrodite I consistently do because she has the weak going on, and it's the same thing. We're either dashing or like hitting a target with that causes weak, and so it kind of trims them down a little bit.
Yeah, you get some drunken love going on.
Oh,
you're set, dude.
It's crazy. Yeah, I do like Zeus. Like the jumping lightning bolts are handy in a mob. They're not great on a boss. That's probably the thing. Like I feel like Persephone and Dionysus.
Yeah, Persephone's awesome for bosses.
Yeah, they're for bosses. Zeus is good for mobs. I'm trying to think. The Artemis is pretty good. I like her.
Kind of middle of the road. I like Artemis.
Yeah. It's a good call. Poseidon is a fun call. Like this wave surge thing going on. It's like
Yeah, I basically jump on any major dash power I can get in any run because it's just I dash more than I use cast. In fact. And this might shock some people. I barely ever use the cast ability.
Yeah, that I do the same thing. I
dash, I attack, and I special.
Yeah, I think part of it is because you lose the crystals, but maybe I need to try out the crystal regen power.
I don't know, man.
The launcher.
I'm saying the same thing as you, where it's like, am I doing this wrong? And I've been playing this for a year. Like I don't use it, and it's just, for me, it's one more thing to think about, and I just don't know if it's giving me the payoff that attention demands.
Yeah, and probably like how my playstyle is, I prefer to put my heavy hitters on my attack.
Yeah.
And then, which I think leads me to not using the cast. And it's like, just because, again, I run with the number of crystals right now. and it's limited ammo. And if they don't die or drop it, if it's a boss, eventually they'll drop it, even if they're not dead yet. But if it's a tough, normal minion, then it's like you have to kill them off, otherwise you don't get them back. Or
exactly,
I've encountered where like I've totally missed, like usually it's like on the arrows or something like that.
Yeah.
Where it goes off to no man's land, off into a corner, and I have to go retrieve it then at that point because it's not even on a boss or a minion rather.
Yeah, no, dude, I'm totally with you. So, if you ever unlock the secret of what makes that worth playing, let me know.
Yeah. Well, again, I think like you said, it goes down to play style, and I'm sure like if you take certain boons that really jack it up, then maybe it is worth it. But like every time I've seen like cast.
Yeah, to me, it's
boons,
attack dash special, baby.
Yeah, it's like it's like, man, I'm like attack is infinite, and I get equal or better damage if I key my boons correctly on attack.
Right,
so like,
right. I'm gonna have to start watching, and I'm not normally a stream watcher, but I do want to watch more streams of this game just to see other ways to play that I just haven't thought of. And that I think that's what makes this game kind of beautiful is that like, my God, you could play this game 100 different ways. It's just really cool. But
absolutely.
yeah, I'm so charged that you're playing it, man. Like, I can't wait to hear like
I've
more of what
Hades
you think
game.
about it. I would just say that again, the end is just the beginning.
I'm sure. Like, well, and that was the kicker. Like when I got to Hades, I got through basically his first form, because it was hard in that fight because I was against the ropes, and it was like beat him down, and I'm like, yeah, I did it. It's like, no, it's like, oh no, it's the second phase, no, I'm not ready, and I died.
And even then, it's just the beginning.
I'm sure. Like even if I happen to do that, like there's probably like even more to go through. It's like, oh, you gotta be kidding
It's not
me.
even just like Hades and his forms. Like, it's like. And that's what I love about this game. And you'll see, I won't spoil it, but you're just getting started. Enjoy the ride.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, I've you've been playing Icarus. I've been holding the trigger on this till payday. I wanted to hear what you thought of this on weekend 2.
Sure, yeah. So this is weekend 2, beta weekend 2. It's a lot of fun. I've been enjoying it. Now, I say not a lot's in. Again, they kind of laid out their beta weekend cycles that they're doing.
Yeah.
First beta weekend it was a lot of fun. It was definitely very easy. Basically to put in framework, if you knew what you're doing, and I kind of did this because some of the multiplayer is a little janky right now, and again, because of the beta, they're working it out. They've actually been deploying a ton of hot fixes this weekend, which has been impressive. Cool. But it shows their like attentiveness to detail.
Yeah, they're watching and listening for sure.
Yeah, they're listening, and they're trying to get it right. But basically, like it's like I restart a character, and it's like, okay, I want to take some different traits and recipes and whatnot. So it's like I restart a character. And basically, I was able to get up to level 5 and unlock wood frame. So, as with any survival thing, there's kind of like the various classes of building materials that you can use, and kind of the typical. It kind of goes in the typical thing of thatch is first level, wood is second level, and then it goes into like refined wood is the third.
Right.
I didn't even try that. But basically, the storm, in the beta weekend 1, the storm would come around, and you really needed your shelter in place. Otherwise, you're going to be exposed to the elements and probably horribly die. But I was able to power level so fast that I could jump right to wood without even having to take up basically it's split on the tree. It's a split, so you can choose thatch and or wood. But if you want to optimize your skill points, you could just say, oh, I'm not going to build any thatch. I'll just go right into wood. And so you can do that. Beta Weekend 2, though, they've kind of upped the ante a little bit. They've introduced heavier storms, including lightning storms this round.
Oh, that's not good in lightning. Matter is wood for that matter.
No. In multiple ways. And they definitely came a lot faster. So it's very much like putting it towards like, okay, I got to take up thatch first because, now I'm not putting a whole bunch of like complicated stuff into it. Because there's various like sub things like fences and, triangle cutouts. It's like, no.
God, this sounds cool.
It's like I built enough or got enough to make like little shit shacks essentially. that if I go out exploring, I can quickly put it up without much.
We got the title for the episode, Little Shit Shack.
Shit Shacks, the Shit Shack episode. And be able to do that and survive the storm. But the storms will like heavily degrade the building, and or if the lightning strikes it will set it on fire.
Oh,
it will also set the forest on fire. But fortunately, because it's raining, it'll kind of help put the fire back out. But yeah, it's like,
but if it stops raining, you're not going to be able to rebuild your house.
Oh yeah, believe me. And they've added a whole bunch more stuff into beta 2. So last beta, torches really, other than lighting the area, wouldn't really do too much.
Mm-hmm.
This one, if you start waving around the forest, you're going to set bushes on fire. You're going to set forest on fire, and Smokey's gonna have some words with you.
Oh, all right. No, this sounds really interesting. So all right, you played Valheim with me back, when it released stuff. Where do you see this game's differences maybe that might pull, I haven't played Valheim in forever, but
they actually, in a lot of their dev streams that I was kind of watching up in the lead up to the weekends in anticipation, they actually looked at Valheim and said, oh, we love the way Valheim does these particular things. We're going to incorporate similar mechanics into ours.
I applaud that.
Yeah, and that there's nothing wrong with it. Like, hey, Valheim, I think really refreshed the survival game genre.
They took a genre that to me I wanted nothing to do with, and I was like, all right, I can get into this again.
Yeah, it was just becoming kind of a little bit dull. You had the Ark, your Conan, and whatnot. It's just like, it was there. But Valheim, it kind of had this refreshing thing to it. So it has similar mechanics in terms of, one, trees can bop you on the head.
Yeah.
If you're not careful.
That was a fucking shock. Tim, fuck. That actually hurt.
But they also do similar things in terms of like the way food operates. So you do need food to live. It's not too aggressive.
Okay.
But unlike say like Ark or Conan, where it's like you constantly need food for absolutely anything, they go the route of like, you eat food, you get bonuses, you get buffs, and all this other stuff going on. If you,
I like that. I like that.
I do too.
Because like Mike over at Bad Fodder Figures podcast nailed what I hate about a lot of these games is the food aspect of survival games. In the majority of them, just like it's an unnecessary distraction. Like if I want to worry about
like
food,
you have to
I'll
spend
stop
half
playing
your
the computer.
Yeah,
and I'll go make lunch.
Exactly. Like you have to spend half your time collecting food, making the food,
so you can play the game.
Just so you can play the game on the other half. Yeah, this game, like the game, the food is pretty plentiful. Like there's berries everywhere that you can do like a little bit of sustaining your life. Animals running around everywhere, so it doesn't take that much to start hunting them and throwing a quick slab of meat on your fire and you eat it and you're good for like 30 minutes or so. So it's very much like, okay, it's like, are you alive and playing the game? Yes. Okay, you're good. You can do what you want to do and not have to worry about food half the time. So yeah, it doesn't feel aggressive right now in terms of keeping yourself alive. I think that's the only like specific mechanics I noticed that are Valheim centric. Again, the tech trees laid out pretty nicely so far. They made some adjustments since beta 1, so again, we could see changes as they go along, just kind of refining it. They seem to basically saw how fast players were burning through beta weekend 1. I think they added
a few things.
I don't want to say time gate, but yeah, just slow the roll a little bit, in terms of that. They added animal levels. So, beta 1, basically, as soon as you got the bow and learned how to use it and knew where to aim, you could basically headshot everything and one-shot everything.
Yeah.
This one, they've got levels. So it's like,
all right, no, I dig it.
Yeah, which makes sense. Again, it's like okay, yeah, it's like we were going crazy. It was a lot of fun, but it's like now it's like bears are very, bears were semi-threatening in the 1, but now they're really threatening in 2. It's like, unless you are absolutely ready for them, they will smoke you.
It's like in real life, unless you got a freaking 50 caliber bullet in the head, they're not going to stop right away.
Exactly.
No, that's cool.
But yeah, like a lot of fun stuff. I think the biggest thing holding it back right now is just the jankiness of the multiplayer stuff. But again, they've been addressing it and and working on it. So if they can iron that out, I think it'll be absolutely solid, because part of it is like you can easily drop in and out of your friends' games. I think the concept is you take up a prospecting claim, and then you drop pod into the planet and do your stuff. A friend can then, it's like, oh yeah, I want to join you, as long as they're not on their own planet type of thing doing their own thing. They can drop pod in on top of you, more or less. Okay. I haven't seen anyone land on anyone yet.
That'd be amazing.
I'm sure it can happen. So far it seems pretty fair in terms of the way they kind of, I say scaled and balanced things from beta 1. So it's like, I think they took a lot of what was happening and they're refining it. I know in 2 weeks they're going to have the Arctic zone. So right now it's the forest zone, and in 2 weeks it'll be the Arctic zone, which I think will be one of the harder zones. So,
no, that's awesome, man. I'm definitely going to check that out on payday, because it's tickled my interest.
Oh yeah. And I guess the other aspect of Valheim is your character persists. So you will always know whatever you've unlocked in terms of tech tree stuff, and you take that with you.
That's good.
As long as you're on that character, to wherever you're going.
Good.
I think eventually they don't have this mechanic in right now, but I think the concept is eventually, once you get like the exotics, which is like the super high level materials, you can trade that in at the space station shop essentially, and then be able to drop in with supplies versus dropping in with nothing.
Okay. No, that's an awesome idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love the
looking
sound
forward
of
to
it.
more. Yeah, I'm excited about it. Again, and I know it's, for some people, like, they're wanting to wait or they don't want to burn themselves out, because that's the other thing. Like, they've already reset the characters since the last weekend. So
for sure.
If you don't like your stuff being reset, watch from a distance and wait for the official launch. I think it's still targeting mid-November.
I would say this is beta, folks. Get used to it. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, but I'm loving the beta, so it's like
awesome.
I'm not concerned about necessarily burnout. I think at this stage, like, I understand, it's like, yeah, things are going to get reset. For me, it's about learning what works best for me in terms of my play style, and what do I want to work towards eventually once it's ready to go.
All right, I will have to pick it up, pre-order it middle of the week. Maybe I can jump on a beta 3.
Yeah.
Before release for sure. I'm definitely geared towards it. I see you checked out 12 Minutes. That was a neat one too, right?
Oh yeah, that was great. 12 Minutes, where William Dafoe beats you up for 4 hours.
It's an interesting game.
Yeah, it I'd say it's hard to talk about without getting too spoilery. But I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Like, it's very much like I put it akin to this is a very old reference, but 12 Angry Men, where the entire movie takes place in one room. I mean, more or less, this you could say this takes place in one apartment, and it's very interesting how it works. It's kind of a time loop, and it's a self-aware time loop, so it almost plays out like a Twilight Zone
Groundhog Day
episode. And everything you learn in a time loop can then be taken forward to the next loop, and things will just like progressively unlock, and you can try new methods, and as you go along. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was worth it, especially, again, another Game Pass, and it's like I had a ton of fun.
I love it, man. I'm still kind of going through that one, little bits and pieces, little nibbles. But I have been completely addicted, completely engrossed, 40 plus hours since its release, the beginning of this month, of Pathfinder: Wrath of the Righteous.
The new one, yeah.
How is it is the best translation of the tabletop D&D game I've always wanted to play and never got the chance to. So, to put it in a lens here, it is a truly epic RPG in that it starts off not even traditional. This is what I love about this game. Like, a traditional tabletop RPG would be like, oh, welcome to my tavern. We have rats in the basement. Clear them out, and then you can play the game. This doesn't start off like that. It literally starts off with a massive demon attack on the city during a fair, and it's the start of your journey. Kind of, you're brought in, like, and this happens literally no matter what character you create. You're brought in wounded, and somebody is healing you, and then shit goes down. And nobody knows why you're wounded because it's like the middle of the Happy Times festival, and everyone's like, "Oh, life is great," blah blah blah, and then shit just goes to complete shit. And what I love about this game is the companions are amazing. It really reminds me of kind of like the old BioWare style where they're really actually like people with personalities, and you care about them and you hate some of them, and they're still useful, so you try to keep them around. It's wonderfully done. And the writing is fantastic, the story is amazing, but what I'm really loving is this gets into a Pathfinder system called like mythic characters. And you start out like just regular kind of badass human that you play in D&D. And then you hit you go through this event, and you get the start of your mythic powers, and you can basically start down the path of like being the kind of Hercules / Xena that you kind of envision in your mind. But it doesn't stop there. There's like, to give you an idea, when you create your character at the beginning of the game, there's like 20 different classes, and some of them are alignment bound that you can only play if you're going to be evil. And your alignment changes based on what you choose throughout the game. So if you go out of alignment for your class, you'll lose the skills. And like, you'll either have to change classes or get a scroll to like, oh, make me evil again. Like whatever your alignment is. Like, I'm playing a class called a Blood Rider, which is kind of a mix of barbarian that's graded mounted combat, and then you have to choose your bloodline. And I there was tons to choose from, but I just went with Golden Dragon because why the fuck not? And you get all these like dragon resistances and bonuses for fighting mounted. Like like mounted combat. Just to give you an idea, that's a new thing in a BioWare style kind of RPG. But then you start really choosing as you get more and more powerful. Like, oh wow, like I'm on the path to becoming almost, I'm almost godlike at the point in my game, and I'm halfway through. So it's like, oh shit. Like, I can see where this is going, and it's the character you always wanted to play in a tabletop game. Like, I wanted to start out as nobody, and I want to be a fucking god. And, like, you can do that. Or you can be a demon. Or you could be an Aeon and be completely neutral and fight. Like, there are so many choices, and every one of them is wonderfully thought out. And, like, I won't give away spoilers, but like, I basically am taking my character on the chaotic good path, in that like, my law is my own, and sometimes I don't agree with the laws of society. Like, my character just doesn't agree with the laws of society. And what I've basically become, if you understand the planes of Pathfinder and D&D, like, there's different concepts of heaven and hell based on like your alignment, the gods you worship. There's like the heaven, which is like Mount Celestia, which is what everyone thinks of, like the lawful good, purity, like plane of heaven, angels and all that shit. And then there's Elysium, to bring us back to the beginning of the conversation. And that's kind of the chaotic good, where it's like everybody's just having fun, not hurting anybody, but maybe doing a few too many mushrooms or whatever. And that's like, my character has become what's called an Azata, which is like a angel of Elysium in a sense, where like butterflies follow me around. And because I became an Azata, like I'm leading a crusade against demons. That's a big part of the game. Is you're leading armies. Like, there's mass combat in this game, very reminiscent to Heroes of Might and Magic. So if you like that, you're really gonna love this. And so I'm leading these armies, and then I have like this band of, they call themselves Free Crusaders, and they're artists and sculptors and poets who are helping me fight demons, but they don't really want to fight battles. But they really make an awesome garden. And this little court, I have my own like fairy court in this world. It's kind of cool. But there's so many other paths. Like, this is the first game in a while where I'm like, I'm having so much fun. I don't want this to end, but I can't wait for my next playthrough because like it makes a really viable path. Like if you want to play an evil character, which I always have a hard time with, just because it's like I don't know, like I can't help but inject my own emotions and like, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
But I really want to play an evil character because like there is a viable fucking mythic path for that to where like you just embrace the inner demon and now you're like, I'm going to finish here and now I'm going to go fight in hell. Like it's, and there's apparently like interplanar combat and shit. Like I can't wait. And like I said, I'm 40 hours into it and I'm still in the mid game. Like,
wow.
It's epic. And it is, I've been playing this and Trails of Cold Steel, the other game I was gushing about in our last episode. It's all I've been playing. I've been playing Pathfinder on my lunch breaks, Trails at night, or switching between the two. And it's phenomenal. Like, Owlcat Games, I think, finally brought a role-playing experience that a lot of people want to play and just haven't gotten a chance to. Like, Nick, you would love it. Like, you could make your fucking holy paladin and you could play that shit up to exactly as you would picture playing it on the tabletop.
Nice.
It's amazing. Like, it is such a masterpiece. And again, full disclosure, like a lot of people are reporting bugs. I had one crash to main menu. I might have hit a bug in one quest today. But that's just like to plainly put it, like I haven't hit bugs. I just haven't. Maybe they're patching them faster than I can hit them. Which is totally possible because they are, they're releasing patches and stuff. But I would say if you're interested in this game, don't let that stop you. Like, Owlcat Games learned a lot from Pathfinder Kingmaker and the mistakes they made there. Like, they're busting their ass to patch up anything they hear about. But I, again, myself, have not hit anything to where I was like, and Nick will tell you, I have no patience for that shit.
Oh, no.
I would just be like, fuck this, I'm done with this game. I haven't hit it, and I cannot get enough of it. And a streamer that I love to watch, he's huge, he doesn't need me to promote him, but Co Carnage, like, I've seen him get into games, and he'll play them for like 2 or 3 days, and like he gets to play games 8 hours a day, plays them straight. He has been playing Pathfinder since release as much as I have, except he's been doing it 8. He has been doing it 8 hours a day since when did it release? Wrath. Again, just to put this in perspective, like this is what this guy does for a living. And every time I see like it's been out since September 2nd. So since September 2nd, every day. Like, I see his stream alert pop up, and it's like, cool, Carnage is playing, more Pathfinder, ? Like, it's a phenomenal game. So, if you're into that kind of thing, if you've been wanting to play a really good, like, tabletop RPG, and really make the character of your dreams, go for it. Wrath of the Righteous is the shit. But yeah, alright, let's move on to releases before I gush on that game further. So yes, Wrath of the Righteous came out in the past 2 weeks. Yesterday, Tales of Arise came out, a new game in the Tales series. I actually been playing that a little bit. I started playing that yesterday, playing a little bit today. Very cool game. I'm liking the dark subject matter so far, in the sense like you start off as a slave, and it is not pulling any punches. On that subject matter, not suitable for work, but like they're straight up with it, and I'm digging where the story's going.
Sure, I mean it's a sensitive topic these days.
Absolutely, and they're not sugarcoating it, which I can appreciate. So I'm digging that so far. There's a new Life is Strange game out that I really can't wait to play. Where the character has like powers of empathy and can like see how people are feeling and like change.
Yeah, this looked interesting from E3.
I'm gonna say you and I saw this at E3. We thought it looked really cool. It's gotten great reviews, and I definitely want to check it out. Like that sounds like a deep subject matter that I could get into. So that came out this week, and I'll be checking that out once I finish closing the world wound and bringing hell to the abyss. God, I love that game. Fucking Wrath of the Righteous is so good. The other big thing that happened this week was the PlayStation Showcase.
Mm-hmm. Finally,
finally,
their closest response to what should have been around the E3 timeframe, but wasn't.
While Microsoft kicked their ass in the meantime. Yeah, wow. So there's some very, very interesting stuff. The main highlights, which you have up top, easily are God of War Ragnarok. Looks phenomenal. Reminds me I still have to finish the PS4 God of War.
And Ghostwire. This is going to be the final chapter.
Yeah, right. As long as it keeps making money, they'll find some reason to fucking bring it back.
It's like they're going to do something.
Kratos was supposed to be done before the last release on PlayStation. All of a sudden, he's in fucking Nordtown.
It's the last one. Oh.
Yeah, wait. That just sold 5 million copies. Wait, he's not dead yet. But yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's why they're. It'll star Atreus. Ghostwire Tokyo. I'm with you on this. This looks trippy, spooky, dark. I like it.
Yeah, I'm still trying to make sense of like exactly what it is, but I'm liking. I'm kind of digging the tone. It's kind of like this modern. I don't know, like.
Kind of like a Persona maybe? Feel,
yeah,
like
Persona,
or not
maybe,
Persona, not Persona. Shin Megami Tensei, the one that the one they just re-released, that Nocturne game, had kind of that feel to it, where like the demons all of a sudden took over and it was like the end of the world.
Yeah.
But it had that feel to it to me, and it like you said, it's just very dark. I liked what I saw.
Yeah, I'm eager to see more. Again, hopefully like PC or something, or maybe I'll get my hands on a PS5. But who knows?
I would think the next title would be the one to pull you towards a PS5.
Yes, if I didn't figure out that it was also going to be released on PC later. So the question is when. But it is Knights of the Old Republic Remastered was announced. It is going to be PS5 exclusive. We don't know the timing on how long that is.
Yeah, we didn't get any details there. We didn't even really see any footage, just a teaser.
Trailer and some awesome music. Like, color me interested. Like, I'm eager to see what have they done to the remaster. It's a great commanding first start to the Knights of the Old Republic series, back when BioWare was awesome.
One of the best games. One of the best games BioWare ever made.
Yeah. And I find the turnabout quite hilarious because again, I think it's more the fact that Lucas Arts / now Disney controls the rights, not necessarily BioWare.
Right.
It is now basically a PlayStation Sony exclusive.
Right.
Will end up on PC.
And that was an Xbox original system exclusive.
It started off as an Xbox exclusive. It's like how the tables have turned.
Yeah.
And it kind of leads us into the next one where the same thing happens. It's like, again, it was an Xbox exclusive and now it's a Sony release exclusive.
This is not a Sony exclusive though. The next one's releasing simultaneously.
Oh, it is a simultaneous. Okay. They said exclusive, but that could be, whatever. Maybe it's like a week or something. But yeah, Alan Wake.
They might have had the announcement, but this was the worst. This was the worst kept secret in gaming. Like,
yeah,
this has been coming.
Yeah, we kind of knew it was coming. Alan Wake remastered.
Yes.
Again, another great game first time. I'm kind of curious how it lives up after so many years. But I think it will. Yeah. Seeing
the footage, the bits and pieces that they dropped. As long as they just need to fix the janky flashlight stuff that just. Lighting was not good on game systems back in the day.
Yeah, I'm curious. Like, will it get like kind of a graphics overhaul? Not necessarily like RTX level, but I mean,
that's my understanding. Is they're going to make it like, they're going to make it RTX. It's going to be current gen quality, which
very nice.
Is very exciting. Like, that's a phenomenally spooky, really good horror game.
And it absolutely need that differential between light and dark. I mean, that was the principle of the gameplay. So
totally, and we just didn't have the technology when that game first came out, and it's like to get a modern touch. That's going to be a phenomenal experience. I can't wait to play that again. Forspoken. I didn't know what to think about this. Like, it looked great, but I was just like, what the fuck am I watching?
I am a little curious to know more. Like the narrative wise, kind of drew me in a little bit. It's kind of got this
Totally.
kid in King Arthur's court.
Yeah.
Or isekai, I guess I think is the term for like the Japanese side, where it's like just the person out of place in kind of like this epic fantasy world. The world itself looked pretty good.
Oh,
like
gorgeous. Yeah.
So I'm kind of curious to see a little more on this. It's got my interest. If it's through the right channels, I will absolutely try play it.
Yeah, my kids were beaming about that one. They like the look of that one. I liked the first thing they showed that you didn't mention here was that new Project Eve, which based on everything they dropped in the video is some kind of successor to Parasite Eve.
Oh, it is related. Okay.
Well, yeah, like they dropped a bunch of little clips where it was like new Parasite Eve or new Parasite detected, initiate Project Eve. And then I
missed that.
You saw her coming down like, it's a fucking new Eve. Yes! Like that was one of my favorite PS1 games. Parasite Eve was the shit. And it's a Square Enix game.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. It totally over my head on that one. Okay. I stand corrected. That's why I didn't put it on here. Because I think I was like quick viewing or I looked away or something. I got distracted. And okay, cool.
As soon as I saw that, like I'm watching, like I'm even looking at the monsters as they're showing the footage. I'm like, this looks really Parasite Eevee, very like Lovecrafty. And then it was like Project or Parasite detected, initiate E. And I was like, oh shit!
Just making those callbacks. Oh, okay, gotcha.
Like, yeah, it's way in the future, like at least because like the clips they showed, like this person's coming back to a ruined Earth, and in Parasite Eve, the first game was where like this mitochondria virus, like the mitochondria in people's bodies went nuts and like turns them into these like creatures, and you're a cop. And, like, oh god, if you've never played Parasite Eve, my god, like go get it.
Classic
legally,
PlayStation.
get it legally on an emulator and play it. Fantastic. And so I was stoked for that. Stoked for Alan Wake. Forspoken the Cool. Deathloop looks interesting, and there's that new like Borderlands RPG one too. Tiny Tina's Wonderland.
Yes. I forgot to put that on here. That looked pretty interesting. Kind of like again, it's kind of a play off of the DLC from 2. But this I think it's going to be its own standalone thing. So.
It's its own thing, for sure. Look cool.
Yeah.
And but the final one you have that comes out this week, and I think it's coming to Game Pass.
Yes, it is. It's a Bethesda release, so in theory, we should be seeing it via Game Pass. So I will absolutely playing that through Game Pass. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, Deathloop looks great. It looks very interesting.
Again, it's playing kind of. I don't know if it's doing the kind of roguelite route, but it's like okay.
Yeah, it looks.
It's granted completely different genre, but it's like okay, how do you stack up against Hades? Because Hades reigns supreme on the looping.
Is the perfection of roguelike looping, and everything deservedly is going to be compared to that from this day forward. Again, if you haven't played Hades. There's a reason for it. Like, it is perfection. And go watch Danny's documentary. It's incredible. I will put the link to the playlist on YouTube. It's totally free. Like, you can just go watch it on YouTube. I'll put the link to Danny's no-clip playlist for it. Full disclosure, I'm a patron of his channel. I've been supporting it forever because I love what the work they do, and I really believe, like, the quality they deliver is so top-notch that like they just did a documentary on Thief, the original Thief, the Dark Project. Did you ever play?
Yeah. A classic ethos.
Yes, and the documentary on it was phenomenal. Like nice. They talked to all the big hitters, and it really made you appreciate just how far ahead of its time and the technology they worked with, like how they did sound. Like people don't appreciate that now. Like it's just a given in games, but like how the sound of your footstep on a carpet would register to the NPC down the hall. Like that was brand new for that time. And they go into details. Like they show you clips of them making the game. It's just mind blowing to watch. So yeah, another no clip plug. Don't give a shit. They're amazing. Go check it out. So yeah, Deathloop is coming this week. And that's pretty much it on the release horizon. The PS5 showcase. There's some big releases coming. Basically in the next few months. I know November's got a couple. You got the new Forza. All that stuff is coming, but we'll focus on the near and now. Definitely by the next episode, I will have probably gotten a lot of Deathloop time in. It looks intriguing. I might hate it, but it looks intriguing.
Yeah, I'm eager to see where it goes. Like again, the trailers make it look pretty awesome, but yeah, it's gonna be like, okay, how long can you play the game?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, again, not to turn this into the Hades episode, but it really is where Hades gets it right.
It really does.
I've died many, many times in that game, and I'm like, I'm not fucking done yet. I'm going back, and that bitch is going to die. It's so good. But yeah, so we'll see how it goes, and we'll have an update on that for the next episode. We don't have any voicemails this week. Again, that's more my fault. I just didn't call out on Twitter to y'all to send us something. That's okay. We'll do it next time.
Okay.
But yeah, I wanted to give some shout outs as usual. And obviously, if you want to call and leave a voicemail anytime, you can do that at 610-810-1654. And please do. I love getting voicemails. We love getting voicemails from y'all and talking about it on the show. And we'll feature you on the show. Then listening to a few podcasts. Obviously, my boys at Bad Fodder Figures are the bomb. Love those guys. They're still doing it every week. They do it live Sunday nights, 9:00. So watch them tomorrow. Well, tomorrow as we've recorded this. It's Saturday night. Give them a watch at 9 p.m. on Sundays. They're a blast. A new one I started getting into. I have just started getting into. Don't ask me why. Just don't. I'm bored and I'm old. WWE and wrestling again. And it's really more this podcast's fault. Actually, it's my local eye doctor has a podcast, and it's amazing. It's called the Steel Cage Lounge that he hosts, and he gets wrestling personalities on there. Kind of a more local wrestling personality. Smitty T. Mockingbird is one of the co-hosts, and they do rewatches because if you have Peacock, it's a streaming service. It's pretty amazing. You can pretty much watch any WWE, WCW, and a couple others. Anything. Any Raw or SmackDown episode from the past 20, 30 years. Well, not 20, 30 years, but, the past 20 years. Old pay-per-views, they have, the SummerSlams, and if you're into that kind of thing, you can watch the Montreal Screwjob. If you wrestling, you know what that is. But they watch old ones on certain anniversaries, and they'll time it on the podcast so you can watch it too. And their commentary on some of these old matches is some of the funniest shit I've ever heard. And I was watching one a mid-90s fall brawl on their recent episode, and it was this match with Norton, I can't remember his name, Norton and Iceman or whatever. It was a WCW fall brawl. And they were just two big dudes. And normally you don't really do a match like that. They call them behemoths, two behemoths. And they were just tossing each other into the ropes. And it was just this back and forth. And the doctor just goes, this is like watching two men wrestling in slow motion. And I fucking died for 10 minutes. It was perfectly timed, hysterical commentary. And check out the Steel Cage Lounge. It's a really fun listen. I've been having a lot of fun with them. They're just a local crew, people that I know personally, and I just think they do a funny show, and it's worth listening to. Other than that, check out Married to the Games and the boys over at Tap the Craft for all your craft beer knowledge. They're fantastic. As far as us, you can reach us at Facebook on the Save Point at tiny.cc/SavePoint. You can email us, theretrorents@gmail.com. On Twitter, @theretrorents. Myself, @retrorentsl. Nick, @BlackEagleOps. And Nick is on Twitch, @BlackEagleOps. And we do have a special guest. It's just a matter of timing and schedules. Coming up very soon. I mentioned him earlier in the podcast. The great Jason Scott, the great internet archivist, one of the main operators behind the Internet Archive. It was really funny. Earlier this week, I saw he was doing, like, Twitter has a new feature now where it's like a speaker or a speakcast, or it's basically like somebody could just announce that they're going live on Twitter to talk, and you can just jump on and listen, and they can give you the microphone. And I was just planning on hanging out and hearing what Jason had to say, because like I find him a fascinating person. He has a deep knowledge on a lot of things, and like he did the BBS documentary that we've talked about on here a few times.
Right. Mm-hmm.
He's a really cool dude. Knows his shit. And I was like, I'm just going to sit there and listen. And I hop on. He's like, Retro, what's up? The mic is yours. I'm like, what? And him and I just wound up shooting the shit for a while. And basically we finished up the conversation. He's like, yeah, if you ever want to get, some more viewers on your podcast. And he's like, and by more, I mean like 5, 6, maybe 10. I was like, no. I was like, I wanted to talk to him for a long time, because I really think he does a lot of really important work that most people may not appreciate. But like, he archived like all the GeoCities sites before they took that down.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like he's really into like preservation, and he has a real appreciation for everything from the machines and the hardware. Like he was saying, like the biggest part of the BBS documentary wasn't so much the people, but to show the machines that this stuff lived on, like the old computers that you'll never see them again. Mm-hmm. And he's really into preserving that and just letting somebody know about it. And I can really appreciate that as somebody who loves history. I know Nick, you're another history lover, mm-hmm. and he's I think he's a really cool figure and an important figure in technology and the things that, because tech moves so fast, we're I think as a people a little too willing to forget about and let go just because it's old and not as good anymore. And so yeah, I'm gonna get with Jason, kind of figure out what schedules can be, and I would love to get him on the show, because he's another person like Neil that you could just listen and let them talk for hours.
Yeah, stories, yeah.
And so, yeah, I'll be talking to Jason Scott. We'll see about getting him on here soon when he's able, and I really can't wait to talk to him. Other than that, I think we can wrap up episode 78. A lot of cool stuff coming. Nick, I can't wait to hear more from you as you play more Hades. I'm going to have to go. I'm going to have to do a run right after we're done here, really. Oh, yeah. Like, just talking about it, I'm like, fuck, I haven't done a run in a week. It's just that kind of game. I think that, again, you can just pick it up anytime and go do a run. It's great.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's like, I say it's a quick pick up, put down. It's like, basically, if
it depends how far you get.
yeah, that's the thing. Like, if you're going for long runs, obviously it can take a bit. But if you're like, you know what, I'll hop on for a few minutes, grind a few currencies,
a few keys.
Just yeah, it's like you can do that too. It's like nothing wrong with that.
But I challenge you to just do that, because
you want to keep going. It's like, no, I gotta keep going.
I haven't even died yet, and I got most of my life. I'm gonna just we'll go to the next room. We'll go to the next.
Just one more.
Son of a bitch! It's 3 a.m.
Exactly.
But all right, man. We will wrap it up here. Hope everybody has had a good couple weeks. We are getting into the fall months, the colder months, which means just more excuses to stay inside and do the things we love, which is play fucking video games.
Yikes.
And other than that, stay safe, everybody. Stay healthy. Be nice to each other. We're all just people trying to live and get by. Be courteous. Wear your mask. Don't cough in people's faces, and don't pee on people's houses. And have fun. Play games. And don't be dicks.
Peace.